Another new beer from Sainsbury's. This one is number 21. This is a Pale Ale with Citra from Brew by Numbers. But what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. The sun's out, the guns are out. Let's get the beer out. Number 21, Brew by Numbers. This is the latest one in Sainsbury's. It is simply a Citra Pale Ale, 5.2% in a 440ml can. This was £3, but the prices in Sainsbury's are going all over the place at the moment. 1 minute they come in at £3, £3.50, then suddenly they're £2, then £2.40 and all that sort of stuff. So they're moving all their prices around. So at the time of going, prices were £3, but it could change. So keep an eye out for it. But Brew by Numbers, it's been in supermarkets before. They always have like one or two in a usually just one actually in a supermarket. Usually a different mixture, sometimes IPAs, mainly pale ales though. But this one's just Citra. So let's crack it open, get it in a glass, see what it's all about. It's not, Brew by Numbers are not bad, I've never had anything that I would say was groundbreaking from them. But, again, another one of those sort of breweries that certainly, fairly consistent beers. And this is a Pale Ale, Citra. So you think, well, it's going to be reasonably good. And certainly beer in a glass, it's a lovely sort of, it's quite a light, in fact, yellow, hazy beer. It's very hazy. There's lots of carbonation. You can see all the bubbles there sticking to the glass as they rise up. And the head, a finger of head, which is a very sort of frothy, sort of not very tightly compacted. I expect that won't hang around for long, but looks pretty good. Looks nice and summer in a glass. See what the aromas are like. Yeah, definitely got that nice sort of Citra twang. Lots of citrus fruits in there, like lemons and limes, grapefruit. There's a sort of tropicalness about it, and there's that. I don't know, I find with Citra hops, it's a very distinct smelling sort of hop. Can't put my finger on what it is about it, because you're getting all those citrus, but you're also getting a slightly earthier, slightly sort of grassier sort of aroma. But smells pretty good and inviting, You know when you're going to drink this, it's going to be a refreshment to your senses. So, cheers everyone. Sharp lemons, sharp lime, very citrusy. You got a little bit of grapefruit there. It's a thin, probably a little bit overly carbonated. It's not overly, I wouldn't say it was soft at all. Prickly carbonation. Yeah, grapefruit's coming through. I mean, that's the thing with it. It's, with Citra hop, you get all that sort of citrus fruits up front. Certainly the sort of lemons and lime, and you're getting zest in massive waves. And then when it sort of sits on your tongue a little bit more, you're getting a little bit of that earthiness, and then that sort of grapefruit sort of sharpness. It's not a grapefruit sort of, it's a little bit of earthiness, but I wouldn't call it bitterness. But it's a very good example of a Citra hop. It's exactly what a Citra hop's all about in terms of flavour. So if you like Citra, which, let's face it, it's in a lot of beers. Is it a little bit one note? Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a little bit sort of lemons, lime, grapefruit, zestiness. That's it. You feel that you need something more. Sometimes you get Citra and you get a bit more, I don't know, sometimes you get a bit more tropicalness, but I'm not really getting much in terms of tropicalness here. It's all about the citrus fruits, but it's really refreshing, a very drinkable beer. And it's the sort of beer that, I think I'd say it's a little expensive compared to what else you can get in Sainsbury's. And for a Pale Ale, if it was £2.40, then I'd buy it a lot, because I think it's, in terms of a consistently good Pale Ale, this is really up there. It's definitely nice and hoppy. We get lots of big, zesty refreshment from it, and I think it's pretty good actually. And certainly, if you saw my review of the Higher Wire Tropical, this is double the beer for that. It's so much better than that. This is more like it. That there's a decent amount of hops in here. There's nothing artificial. There's nothing, added. It's just all about the brewing, the hops, the barley. There's oats in this as well. Yeah, maybe the meat body's a little bit not as thin and prickly as such. It's a really great beer though. Actually, it's a really good pale ale. In terms of Citra, it's a really nice, refreshing beer. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Brew by Numbers number 21. This is a pale ale using just Citra hops, 5.2%. It's from Sainsbury's and it's not bad. As I said, it's about £3 now, but you know, you could go in Sainsbury's tomorrow and it could be £2.40. It could be £2 even. Some of the beers have come down from like £3.50 to £2. So if it was £2, I think you should definitely buy more than one, I'd say. So let's go through the scores. Well, firstly, aroma. Citra hop. Yeah, no doubt in it with that aroma. Lots of zesty lemons, limes, citrus fruits. There's grapefruit in there as well. Sometimes, you know, with Citra, you usually get a lot of that. I mean, it's called Citra because I think that's mainly because of the citrus fruits. But you also get a lot of tropicalness. So when I read the back of the label, it says a vibrant tropical character. Maybe picking up a little bit of mango, maybe a bit of lychee, a bit of passion fruit. But for me, it's all about the zest. It's all about the zesty fruits. And I think the citrus fruits is much more dominant in it. But it smells good, it smells inviting, gets the taste buds going. I'm giving it 13 for aroma. Appearance-wise, well, I think colour-wise and haze-wise, I think it's pretty good. You know, it's a lovely sort of yellowy colour. Not much in the way of head. You know, when we poured it out, there was a lot of carbonation and it was quite a sort of frothy sort of head. That went down quite a lot. So I'm giving it a 7 for appearance. Flavour-wise, well, I know there's some people out there, crazy as it may seem, that don't like Citra. You won't like this, very Citra forward. But for me, it's refreshment, sharpness, zestiness. I think it's great. Yeah, the body could be a little bit thicker. The carbonation could be a little less prickly. But it's a pale ale, and I think from a pale ale point of view, it's a very solid beer. This is the sort of beer that I'd want to be drinking in pubs, beer gardens, in pint glasses, you know, and just really enjoying that refreshment. So for flavour-wise, I'm giving it 34. I think for a pale ale, there's a lot of nice, zesty, almost like fragrant sort of flavour to it, but it's, you know, the flavour sort of sticks a little bit. A lot of pale ales can have the flavour can go and wash themselves away. Certainly some of the recent pale ales are like this, but this has a little bit more, there's a little bit more staying power with the flavour, a little bit more earthy grapefruit on the back end. So I'm going to get 34 for flavour. Value for money. Well, I'm giving this one a 7. As I said, that's based on it being £3, because I think for a pale ale, what with other beers that are in the supermarkets coming in now a little bit less than £3, I think, you know, I'd be wanting to pay £3 for a supermarket IPA. For a pale ale, I think it's a little bit expensive. Not much. I mean, if it was £2.40, I'd probably be giving it 9, but I'm going to give it 7 for value. And my overall experience, well, I mean, I don't drink much pale ales. I want refreshment from a pale ale. I want it to easy drinking, but I don't want it to be watery. I don't want it to be lacking in flavour. And this holds its flavour well. There's definitely more hops than the average supermarket pale ale, because there's a lot of supermarket pale ales where you get that hit and then it just washes itself away. With this, there's a little bit more staying power, and I think it's solid. I think it's got a real. You've got the first quenching in there, but at the same time, it just leaves a really fresh grapefruit flavour as well. You know, you get a lot of this grapefruit stuff that's slightly artificial, slightly not quite right, or you get that pininess coming in. This is like fresh grapefruit on the back end, and I think it's really good. I'm going to get 15 for overall. I think it's a really solid pale ale, and I definitely buy it again, and certainly I hope it comes down in price a little bit, and then I will probably buy more than one. Tighten the scores up, we get a 76. It's recommended, it's just on the higher level of that, and I think for a supermarket beer, 76 is a very good score. So, brew by numbers. I mean, there's so many out there. I do wish that, I know that that's their sort of thing, brew by numbers, but you never understand the numbers of what they mean, and it's like, if someone said, oh, what's your favourite brew by numbers? I wouldn't know what it is, because you get some that are the same number, but they've got different hops in them. So I think that they need to work on their branding a little bit more. You know, they could call them brew by numbers, have a number, but have a different number for each beer, and I don't know, call it something along with that number. But I still think that they make very solid beers. Nothing overly spectacular, but a very solid beer and definitely worth trying. So if you go to Sainsbury's, give it a go. Let me know if you've had it in before. Let me know in the comments what you think of it. I mean, there are other Citra Pale Ales out there. I'm not even sure if Sainsbury's are still doing. I think they've probably taken them off now. The Arbor Ale C-Bomb, that's another Citra Pale Ale. I'm trying to remember what that was like, but this is it's going to be close to being like this. If not, this is a bit better, I would say. But there's certainly some good Citra Pale Ales out there. Citra IPAs are very good. Certainly the Citra IPA, which I haven't had for ages, from Buxton in Tesco. It's like really good beer. That is a really good beer as well. So I do like Citra hops. I think they're, and I think a lot of people and a lot of breweries like them because they're in lots and lots of beers. But this is a very good Pale Ale. So if you like Citra, you like Pale Ales, you want that refreshment, you want that sort of lightness and easy drinkiness, but you still want that flavour and that juice in there. This has got it in spades. So give it a go. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoy the sunshine wherever you are in the world. As hopefully by the time this video goes out, the sun hasn't disappeared and we're now in sort of midwinter, as it were. But, it's time for summer. It's time for drinking good quality beer in that sunshine. So until the next one, you know what you got to do. Keep on rocking.